Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. So this is going to be taken from another double up co-op game. Right now I've mostly just been playing the co-op mode because the current patch version of Teamfight Tactics is in such bad shape that I have no real desire to just queue up for a normal random game, whether that's in normal or in ranked. So this is some more co-op footage. And joining me for this game is Headwinder, who has not played very many games in double up mode. So it looks like we're using my rating for this particular game. And I believe that this was right on the cusp of being platinum in double up mode. I think it was gold 1. So we were not up against like the most amazing opponents in this game, but we were starting to get some more respectable boards as we continue to go up the ladder on the double up mode ladder. All right, so in this game, I'm going to be featuring the Revel trait and also the Dragon Horde augment. So it's going to take a little time to go in that direction, but I ended up playing a pretty unusual build here, not something that you can play in ordinary games. And I thought that this would be worthwhile to show off since, as mentioned before, I'm not playing a ton of different games. So you sometimes have to be more creative when you get some of these more unorthodox boards. Most of the time in double up mode, I've been playing either just kind of a standard mages game or a standard Corki game. And I was planning to go into mages in this game as well because I have a sword plus a rod plus a tier. So, you know, that can be an Archangel staff plus a sword, or it could be a Shojin plus a rod, or it could be a Gunblade plus a tier. Any of these combinations works quite well for spellcasting setups. And I've also got a Heimerdinger and I've hit a 2-star Vlad. So at this point in time, I'm thinking, well, this looks like another mage game. And we've been having good success with one of us playing mages in these double up games. You know, one person goes mages and fishes for Aurelian Soul, who's the main reason why this is not a fun patch to play at the moment. And then other people, and then the other person can just play something else. But that's going to change when I get this augment here. So I get these initial augments. It's a prismatic for the first augment, which always has a huge effect on the game. I don't like any of the choices. And then, it's a Revel crown. I have the option to grab a Revel crown here. As soon as I see that, I'm like, done. I'm going to click the Revel icon. And this immediately reorients my team from looking to play into mages into looking to play towards Revel. And the idea is I have very good items to put on a Deja long term because Deja is the unit that uses the Revel crown best in this game. The Wind Dragon will proc Revel pretty much every single time that she attacks. She will proc the Revel trait. And this interaction feels like it's a bug, but it's not a bug because the developers have had the chance to patch this out of the game, and they have not done so. So we're just going to play through the Revel trait, and now I need to build some kind of a board that can get me to the mid-game / late game where I can play 5 Revel. So this is not a standard team composition that people are going to be playing normally, and that's because you can only kind of do these setups if you have the Revel emblem, which is not something you can make from a spatula item. You can only get it from a Tome of Traits or an augment like this, the Prismatic augment. So +1 Revel right now. I already had a Tom, which was fortunate, and then a Jinx popped out from getting the augment. So I really want to put this Revel emblem on a Tristana. Like, that's the unit I most want. And then I do find a Tristana. The only thing that's slightly sad here is I had put these items on Heimerdinger so someone could hold them. I should have probably just stuck them on Vlad because Vlad is going to come out of this team comp. So the sad thing is I have to sell the Heimer to get these items off Heimer. And that means I'm not going to be stacking up Trainer here in the early game. Now, Trainer would not get stacked up very far with a 1-star Tristana and a 1-star Heimerdinger. You kind of need to 2-star one of those units so that the stacking for Namzi is not pitifully slow. But in any case, it would be nice just to have the Namzi in here. Like, I would rather have the Heimer in than the Vlad. I have this totally random Vladimir that was left over from when I was thinking that I would play mages. Does not fit this comp at all, but I need to find some kind of a better unit. I really want to replace Vlad with a Bruiser, but so far I have not seen any Bruisers in the shop. Still, Tristana procs Revel trait pretty well, and since her other trait is Cannoneer, she pairs quite nicely with units like Jinx and Corki, and I guess Senna if I would see Senna, though I haven't seen her yet. Now, as far as what Headwinder is playing in this game, he decided he got an early Olaf from one of the minion rounds, and he said, I am going to play Olaf this game. Olaf is not in a particularly strong position in this patch. This is the patch of Asol, who has been super duper dominant. But he figured that if no one else is playing Olaf and Olaf is uncontested, then that should be a pretty good opportunity to try to 3-star Olaf. Right now, Headwinder is trying to get Olaf to die in every fight so that he can stack up the bonus AD, but that's a little bit tricky because we've been winning the fights thus far, which is not bad. Certainly not bad. But losing fights and getting Olaf to stack up his AD bonus is not bad either. So I am on the lookout for Olafs and for Dianas because those are the key units that will need to be 3-starred if I'm going to complement my teammate in this game. Similarly, Headwinder is going to keep an eye out for Deja, keep an eye out for Corki. There's not an especially good 1, 2, or 3 cost unit that I'm looking to play into. I guess Jinx, I guess we could try to 3-star Jinx or maybe try to 3-star Tristana. It's probably better to 3-star Jinx, honestly, if we're playing through Revel trait. By the way, look how close this fight is. The little explosion shot that Tristana puts on enemies' heads was about maybe 0.2 of a second from detonating and winning the fight, but instead I end up losing a super close round, which is, as I said, a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is, one of those things. You're not going to win every single round, or at least only going to win every round exceedingly rarely. All right, so here on this minion round, I can take a frontline item. I can also look to keep itemizing a future Deja. So out of these different options, I am going to go over here and grab the belt because this will be a useful frontline item. And I believe it's also the potential for, it could also be the potential for a Zeke's, which would not be bad either. But I figured that what I honestly need right now is more frontline. So I'm going to look to grab that. And it's on a 3 gold Elise, so I'm pretty happy with that. This is the first of the 2 rounds where you get some kind of an item or gold from your partner. I have taken the gold. I almost always take the gold because it really, really helps your economy out a lot. Sometimes it can be better, though, to take an item, particularly if the item is going to be just like a perfect fit for the composition you're running. It can be worthwhile to take that, but usually if there's not anything that spikes your board, you're better off just taking the gold because it makes a big difference getting 8 gold on stage 2-5. Like you can hit the next income threshold much faster, and that way it just compounds over time with the way the interest mechanic works in this game. Now, as far as my board is actually pretty weak right now, and I honestly should probably be losing all of these rounds. I've got a 2-star Tom, which is nice. I do have 3 Revel, which is good for this early in the game, but the rest of my board is pretty bad. I still have this Vladimir in here, and I was debating should I sell Vlad to put in Tarek, but I didn't feel like that was particularly good. I mean, I guess that makes Guardian trait, but is a 1-star Tarek that makes Guardian trait really better than a 2-star Vlad? It's kind of debatable, so I just held off on selling the Vlad for right now. And I end up winning this round because look at this person. They have so many items on their bench. They actually took the Ornn item Prismatic, and the result of that was they didn't even use the Prismatic item that they got out of the Ornn Forge. So yeah, taking a prismatic thing and then not actually using the item you got out of your prismatic augment, maybe not the best decision. I'm able to win my round, but then ultimately I'm not able to defeat the Volibear that was on Headwinder's board. So we both have had win streaks interrupted. We are not just going to win streak all the way through this game. And then look, there's another Tark here. There's another Sedge here. I was like, I guess that the Sejuani is better than this Leona for right now. I was like, can I find a bruiser here? There's so many bruisers that are at the 1 cost and 2 cost and 3 cost tiers. There's 2 1-cost bruisers in Skarner and Tom Kench. There's 2 2-cost bruisers, right? There's Shen. Who's the other? Is there just one? I think there's another 2-cost bruiser, but there's Shen there, and then you have the Alawi and the Silas at the 3-cost tier. So there's so many bruisers that are inexpensive in this game. But I'm not seeing any of them. So I'll stuff this belt on the Sejuani because that unit's going to come out of the comp. I am hesitant to itemize Tom Kench too much because I would rather put my tank items on a better unit than Tom Kench. Tom probably stays in the comp because I'm playing Revel and I need him to get Revel 5. There are only 4 Revel units in the set, and you need to play all 4 of them plus have the Revel crown to make it to Revel 5. Which is where the damage goes up by a good... I mean, it goes up with every rank in the trait, but getting to Revel 5 kind of pops off to a higher tier. I believe it's around 280 damage for Revel 5. I don't have the cheat sheet in front of me right now, but it's pretty significant. All right, we're going to get the best possible result here, which is that we win the round, but we also managed to get Olaf to die for Headwinder's board, so he's going to get the bonus AD stacking up there. So that's pretty nice. All right, and here I will finally sell the Vlad because I have something that fits this comp to some degree. It's going to be the Senna. Now, Senna, not an important unit in this comp. Honestly, Senna is not even good in a normal Corki comp because Senna is not a very good unit, at least in this current makeup of Teamfight Tactics. But she's especially bad in this version of the comp because I'm not playing through Cannoneer. I mean, even Corki doesn't really play through Cannoneer, but the focus in this game is Revel trait, not Cannoneer. It's Revel. So I want more Revel units. Now, the problem is the other Revel units are Corki and Sona, and they're both 4-cost units, so it's going to be a little tricky to see if they will show up. So for right now, Senna is a unit that I can put in, but she is very replaceable if I could find something better. I would happily play another Bruiser over her or Lulu to maybe get Trainer in or something. I'm sure I can find something better. I have not really liked the options I've been getting in the shop. I'm also very glad I found the one Tristana. Otherwise, I don't know who I would put this on. All right, this is a little bit better. I'm finally going to get this Alawi. I'm going to put the Alawi in. And then, yeah, so we'll just sit here for the time being. I did want to go to this level so that I could get my, so that I could start to get Bruiser trait in and then also increase the shop odds to try to find higher cost units. Now I'm up to at least 5% odds to find the 4-cost units, hoping I can find early Corki, hoping I can find early Sona, hoping I can find early Deja. Those are the units I am looking for. They would all help spike my board to a good extent. Now, what I have not done is I have not done a good job of scouting the lobby, and there's really no excuse for that in double up mode. There's only two, after the initial rounds of the game, there's only 2 players you can ever hit in any one round, and I got caught with Tristana on the right side of the board, right on where the enemy Kane's going to jump onto. So I don't know if I win this round. It would have been close, but I probably win this round if Trist is on left-hand side, and that would have been a very, very easy repositioning to make. As I said, there's not really any excuse for getting caught out there. So pretty sloppy, and yeah, definitely should have been more on top of that. By the way, all these people I keep seeing continue not to use their items, which is pretty crazy. So I'm going to take the Revel Heart. I don't need Cannoneer Heart. Remember, we're not playing through Cannoneer trait. We're playing through Revel trait. So getting +1 Revel is really nice. Number one, it's going to get me to higher tiers of Revel right away. Now I can actually get to 5 Revel if I find Corki or Sona, not both. And then importantly in the late game, it also means I can drop Tahm Kench. I can play the other 4 units. I can play Jinx, whoever's holding the Revel emblem, Corki, Sona, and then I can drop Tahm and I can still have 5 Revel because I'm getting +1 Revel from my trait. So that's actually really nice because Tahm is not a good unit in the late game. I mean, he's a 1-cost unit, so you'd prefer to play a better unit than him late game, but now I won't have to. So this will, as I said, this is good. It gives me more tiers of Revel for the moment and also allows me to drop a weak unit in the late game. That said, Tahm is probably my best unit at the moment because he's my only 2-star unit that I have on the board right now. So him staying alive in the fight is quite nice because it means every time he gets his ability off, it's going to proc that Revel trait. I just highlighted this on the recording. Revel 4 looks like at the moment is 210 damage anytime that a unit procs their ability. And then if I can get to Revel 5, it goes from 210 to 290. So like that's a humongous increase. Almost a 50% increase. Does not look like I have enough for this round, though, as I'm going to lose. And again, I'm not surprised that I'm losing this round. My board is not very strong at all. Like, I'm still running these kind of garbage units on the board. I'm still running, what is it? I've still got that Sedge, although I can now get Sejuani out of the board. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's just go up to 4 Bruisers for right now. I think that's better. Silas can hold the tank items for the time being. And yeah, we'll just play this for right now. This does mean that I take out the Senna, but like, do I really care about Senna? I realize she brings Cannoneer trait. I realize she's my only other 2-star unit, but like the focus of this is not Cannoneer. The focus is Revel trait. You have to understand what you're playing through at any one moment in the game, and right now Cannoneer is not important at all. And unitemized Senna is not going to do very much. Like, Senna, no items, 3 Cannoneer, that's like whoop-de-doo. She's still not going to do very much. What's more important is having 4 Bruisers in, so they can just stand there and soak up damage so that Tristana and Jinx can proc Revel trait and then get the fireworks to go off, which is where all my damage is coming from. So, yep, that's kind of the plan, and I do think that getting up to the 4 bruisers has made me a lot more stable here. I still wouldn't say that I'm especially stable, but like these other boards have not been super impressive thus far. As we said, these are players that are mostly in, I think, mostly in gold and platinum in non-double up team fight tactics, and they're just not building boards that are putting enough pressure on Headwinder and me. So we feel pretty content just to econ our way up to higher levels. And for me especially, I really want to try to get to level 8. And at level 8, find Corki, Sona, Deja. And that's the plan. If I can find those pieces, I should be in great shape. Now, there is a Sona on this carousel. I did consider just taking Sona to have a Sona, but I figured I wasn't in that much danger, and I wanted to get a better frontline item for Silas here, who's my current frontliner. So this can make Sunfire plus the Dragon's Claw, and that's really important in this ASOL meta, where everything is kind of focused around magic damage. Now, look what I've got in the store here. I have an Idis in my store. I was like, ooh, okay, do I just play the Idis? Would that be better? I was like, let's at least see what the Shimmer Scale item is. And it's going to be Mogul's Mail. Your unit gains armor, magic resist, and health when taking damage. Stacks up to 40 times. If the full stacks go off, you get additional gold. So I was like, okay, I think that's better. I can drop the 4 bruisers, drop down to 2 bruisers here, and that's definitely going to be better. So I'm going to be playing through solo frontline Idis right now, put the Sunfire and the Dragon's Claw on Idis, and it's going to be very difficult for teams that don't have backline access to get through the Idis right now. She is the tank dragon, if you're unfamiliar with Idis. I think I had her in some of like my very first video that I did for this set, but I haven't featured Idis a whole lot in other videos that I've done. So as mentioned, she is the tank dragon. She does basically no damage at all, but has a Guardian trait, also gives 3 ranks of Shimmer Scale, so you will always get a Shimmer Scale item by putting Idis on your board, and basically just sits there and soaks up damage. The biggest issue for Idis in the late game is you generally don't want to run other Guardian units in the late game, because Guardian's not a very good trait for the late game. All the Guardians are 1 and 2 cost units, but if by some chance you can get a Guardian emblem, it can be really nice to have like Idis plus a Guardian Warren or something. I know I've run that combination before. So provides great frontline, but provides no damage whatsoever, and gives the Shimmer Scale item. So this does complicate things because, as I said, I was hoping that I would run Revel Deja. So if I want to play Deja, I would have to drop the Idis long term. But I can always run Idis as a transition unit. This is going to provide great frontline for now. So like I said, any comp that does not have the ability to get past the front line is going to struggle to deal much with my team. Now this comp actually does have backline access just because Volibear's lightning will arc through and hit the back lines. But for anyone that doesn't have that kind of ability, as long as they can't get through Idis, Trist can just sit back there and DPS forever. So this board does actually have a way to get through that, but a lot of these other teams I'm seeing do not. So we're actually going to kill the Volibear, and then Idis is still sitting there tanking, still tanking, still tanking, still tanking. Going to buy time for Headwinder to come over here, and then Olaf's going to polish that off. I'm also going to make 2 gold from the Mogul's Mail, which is nice as well. So I get that extra armor, magic resistance, and on top of that, if the Mogul's Mail gets up to 40 stacks, then I gain 2 additional gold. And that's basically going to happen in every single round. So don't overlook that possibility as well. Getting 2 additional gold per round is very, very nice indeed. Now, again, this is pre-recorded footage. I wish we had real replays. I would love to show more of what Headwinder is doing on his board, but he's going for the 3-star Olaf and the 3-star Diana. He's hit the 2-star Olaf so far. I believe he said that he did not lose a single round after the Olaf was 2-starred, so he was not able to get his Olaf to die as soon as he 2-starred the unit. And you can see I'm trying to pick up Olafs and Dianas for him as well. Otherwise, I'm just pushing to trying to push up to level 8 as quickly as possible, and then want to roll on 8. Also have a champion duplicator that we can take advantage of there. Headwinder has taken the same prismatic augment that one of those other players had, where you get an Ornn item every 10 rounds. So he got 1 at the start of the game, and then now he's gotten an extra collector at the start of stage 4. He also has +1 scale scorn for his silver augment, so we kind of got exactly what fit our comps. I was able to get +1 Revel, and then he was able to get +1 scale scorn. So that means if by some chance he can get another scale scorn emblem, he would be able to play the very, very rare 6 scale scorn. And that's unlikely, but it is something that we can play towards. More likely, it means he doesn't have to play Braum or doesn't have to play Lilia in his comp, and he can still maintain 4 scale scorn instead of having to run those units, which are weaker. This is another mispositioning by me. I needed to move Tristana over to the left-hand side. I don't know if I would have won the round anyway. I might have still lost the round. But by having Triss jumped on by that person who's playing some kind of Shimmer Scale Assassins, Triss is just going to die right away. I really do not think my board is very strong at all. If this lobby was putting more pressure on me, I would be rolling, but I haven't felt the need, so I'm not going to. And oh, look at this, Dragon Horde. The dragon trait remains active regardless of how many dragons you had on your board. Your dragons gain, and this is the Dragon Horde version, so I believe the dragons gain a little bit of an additional AP and AD. So what this does is lets me run multiple dragons on my board at the same time. And this is one of the rarer augments. I wouldn't say you should take it all the time, but this is a situation where it works perfectly. Now I will be able to run Idas frontline, and then I'll be able to run Deja with the Revel crown. So that's the plan. Just look for Deja, find Deja, and then I'll be able to run both Idas and Deja together, which should be really nice for my board. It's always the problem if you want to run Deja, then you can't run one of the tank dragons for frontline. But this augment is just going to solve that problem immediately for me. So I'm very, very happy that I was able to get this. I said to Headwinder before this started, before we saw that last augment, I said, if I can see Dragon Horde or Dragon Alliance, I'm 100% going to take it here. And it actually did pop up. So very, very nice luck. And that's also part of what made this game a little bit more unique in terms of playing it. So like, not only do I have this Revel thing going on where I'm trying to play 5 Revel, I also have the possibility of playing multiple dragons. So remember what I said about teams that have backline access? Well, yeah, this team has an Elise that can rappel into the backlines. And even though Headwinder's going to try to come over and save me, it's not enough. I'm going to lose this round. So I am just preparing to go level 8 really soon, and then I want to roll down and see what I can find here. So let's just go ahead and go 8 right now. And if I roll here, I can start rolling before other people get a chance to roll. A very standard timing is after the carousel, so I'm going to look to roll here. Oh, well, that's pretty good. I'm going to find a Bard and a Sona. That's a pretty good hit right there. I could also go into a Corky board with Siphon. That's a popular comp right now. I also find a Shyvana, by the way. And I was thinking about whether to play the Shyvana or not. I was like, ooh, Shyvana's very strong in this patch. Is this a unit that I play? But ultimately, we were kind of talking this over, and ultimately I was like, I don't think that I play the Shyvana here because I want to play Deja. Deja's a better user of Revel, the Revel emblem. Shyvana, even though she can use AP items quite well, she just doesn't cast her ability that frequently. So she will not really be able to use the Revel emblem particularly well. And I don't want to use her as my frontliner because she likes to take off and fly off in the middle of the fight, and I kind of can't have that happen. Like, I kind of need Idas to stand there and soak up damage, so I don't think it's going to be Shyvana this game. Don't think so. So even though it was a nice hit, this is not the game for Shyvana. I don't want to try to shift into a shapeshifter board. By the way, that other person I hit is running triple Celestial Blessing, which is really weird. I don't know if that's the best decision, triple Celestial Blessing, but okay. Yeah, you guys have fun with that. All right, so Headwinder is still win streaking right now. His board is clearly stronger than mine until I can put the pieces together. I'm looking for either a rod or a bow here because I'd like to make Rage Blade for my last item. It's a good item on Deja. It's one of her core items. And if I can get the bow or the rod, I can force the other one out of the Treasure Dragon. So that was my thinking there. I don't need frontline items. I already have full items on Idas. I'm planning to solo frontline the Idas. And if I can hit 2-star Idas, that'll be really comfortable. So I'm trying to itemize Deja at the moment. So I'm looking for Deja. Ornn is a possibility to play. I'm looking here, and oh, I go by a Deja. It's my biggest mistake of the match. I'm rolling a little bit too fast. I go by the Deja. I do at least manage to grab that what's his name? That Olaf, which I'm able to send over to my partner, over to Headwinder, and that's going to help in making that 3-star Olaf. So, missing the Deja, really a big mistake. As I said, the biggest error that I made in this match, I was looking for Deja, and apparently I went by one without seeing it. I have actually hit a lot of other stuff, though. I've managed to hit the 2-star Idas. I've managed to find a Bard, and I was able to get 2-star Sona as well, and now I also have a Corky in my shop. So this means that I can take out the Tom Kench. I don't need that anymore. I can put in Corky, and that will maintain the 5 Revel. And that'll be my board. By the way, look at how long this Idas tanks for. I just need some damage in my comp. I really do not have damage in there right now. So just need to get some kind of units to deal damage behind this Idas. But yeah, 2-star Idas tanks for a very, very long time. And at this point, I decide I'm not actually going to play the Ornn based on what I'm seeing here. So let's see if we can get Corky onto the board. There's another Olaf and another Diana. So I'm going to keep rolling here. And well, that was relatively easy as far as hitting Corki 2-star. So let's go ahead and do that. And now I've got all these backline units. And I'm like, let's go ahead and let's make a Zeke's here. And then we'll run the Zeke's on Corki. And then we just need to get a Rod out of the Treasure Dragon, and we'll have all our items ready to go for Deja. We will have Rage Blade, plus Archangels, plus the Revel emblem. Trista's holding Deja's items, and we've even got a Zeke's, which will be very good for Deja as well. Now, notice that Corki is not the main focus of this comp. Corki is certainly useful to have in here. Like, I don't mind having Corki in the comp by any means, but he is not the focus. It's going to be whoever is holding the Revel emblem, which is still planned to be Deja at this point in time. If I had not gone past that initial Deja, you'd be able to see that in my board right now. But yeah, it's really it's not the Corki that is the unit that I'm playing through at the moment. He applies Revel trait, but not as quickly as Deja will, so that is why the Wind Dragon is the intended focus. I just have to find the unit after going by it in the shop, unfortunately. So I went over to Headwinder's board. Unfortunately, I was not able to help provide a win in that round. So remember, I need a Rod. I was thinking about taking this because I could just take Rapid Fire Cannon. That would not be bad, but that's not quite what I was looking for. So again, I was like, this is okay, but I have no one to put the Bramble Vest on. And I was like, oh, done. This is what I'm looking for. I've got my Rod for the Rage Blade. I've also got a Zerat Portal, which is very good because it'll be a defensive item to help protect my board. And then I've even got a Reforger, if that would prove to be useful. And I've got like a leftover belt as well. So I'm going to roll here. I'm going to hit 2-star Lulu, so that's nice. It'll stack up Trainer faster. I'm going to hit 2-star Diana, so I can send that over to Headwinder. He is getting close to 3-star Olaf, getting close. He's not as close to 3-star Diana, but we're actually relatively close to the 3-star Olaf. I think if either one of us gets like one more of them, we'll be okay there. As far as his sends, you can see he's picking up a Corki for me, has picked up a Bard, although I think he would also probably want to play the Bard. Everybody wants to play Bard in this set. I have run myself down to 0, but the good news is Headwinder is on the spot. Headwinder did find a Deja. Of course, I also found one and missed it in the shop. Whoops. So now I'll be able to transition into Deja. Just going to take 1 round for me to get this in. So now what is it that I actually take out? Because I have to take 2 units out. Well, Trist will definitely come out. Trist is not really needed in this board, to be honest. I will lose Trainer if I take her out, but I don't really need Trainer trait. My Namzi is not especially well stacked up in this game, so I can lose Trainer trait. And then the other unit that I drop, I have to see my board. I have to recall what I'm playing on there. I think it's the Bard, if I remember correctly, even though I do like having Bard on my team. I don't think that I absolutely need that unit in there. By the way, we're up against the Shimmer Scale player who has managed to get up to Crown of Champions. And Headwinder was not quite able to burst through that board yet. Again, he's not quite hit his 3-star Olaf. He's on 8 Olafs right now. And I believe he's on 6 of the Dianas. I think that's right. So anyway, let's go ahead and itemize this. We're going to sell that Trist. We're going to go ahead and put the Deja in. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I want to run 5 Revel. So that means it's actually the Jinx over the Trist in this situation. And I want to get Bard in as well, but can't really play Bard until level 9. I'm not going to take any of these other units out. I was like, do I want to run Lulu or do I want to run the Tristana here? And I was like, wait, no, it's definitely the Lulu, because Lulu's going to give me Evoker trait, and then if I can get Bard in, I get Mystic trait back in again. And Evoker's a big deal because it's going to make Sona cast more often. Remember, Sona's a Revel unit as well. I don't have Sona itemized, but she is really the next one to itemize. It's her or the Corki. So if I get AD stuff, I'll put it on Corki. If I get AP stuff, I'll put it on Sona. And if anything, something like a Spear of Shojin is probably better because it'll just get her to cast more often. So it's probably better to itemize Sona than it is to itemize the Corki right now. Again, we're playing through Revel. We really want those fireworks to go off. These fights are fun to watch, though. I won't deny that. It's just awesome watching all the fireworks come out at an absolutely insane pace from the Deja over there. Now I'm rolling to see if I can hit one more Deja. I was like, oh man, I really don't want to go this far, this low. So I have the Olaf here. I wanted to send it over to Headwinder. He's like, no, I just hit 3-star Olaf as well. So I was like, oh, well, guess that's more money to roll with then if you just hit 3-star Olaf. So yeah, there we go. I'm unable to reposition in time here. Am I hitting the Shimmer Scale player? I am, but at least I did manage to avoid that what is it? I managed to avoid that that Shroud of Stillness. The good news is Sona is on this. Sona manages to pop the unit that's holding the Crown of Champions on the Shimmer Scale board, and so we're able to win that round pretty easily, even though Zoe did, you know, some 200,000 damage or whatever with that Crown of Champions. Doesn't matter. We burst through. Sona's on it, and then the fireworks punch through and hit the back line. This is one board that tends to do really, really well against Jade compositions because Jade units have to clump up, and then it makes them super susceptible to like Corki shots and Sona's big AoE cast. This board tends not to do as well against Aurelion Sol, but fortunately for us, no one's actually playing Aurelion Sol in this lobby. All right, now there is an item on this carousel that's super duper good for Headwinder. There's actually a scale scorn emblem on this carousel. Remember, he has +1 scale scorn, so if he takes that, he can get to +2 scale scorn. And then that would actually allow him to play 6 Scale Scorn, which would be insane. And he's actually going to get it. Now, I want the Guardian Emblem. Guardian Emblem would be great for me because that would put Guardian trait in play for Idis. But one of the other players is also running Idis. So they actually snapped that up for themselves. And I was like, ah, man. Really wanted that. Really, really wanted that item. That would have been super nice. But yeah, that's going to be 6 Scale Scorn Olaf over there on Headwinder's board. And again, I wish I could show you his board more often. As I've said before, I wish we had replays in this game. But can't do that. So I'll go ahead, find another Deja in the shop. I'm going to go ahead and Nico the Deja. So now I've got Deja 2-star with 5 Revel, 2 Dragon, 2-star Idis, 2-star Deja with 5 Revel in. Let's go, everybody. And I feel like my comp is very, very strong at this point in time. The biggest weakness of my comp is the fact that it's solo frontline Idis. So if anyone on the other team has something like a Zephyr, like if they Zephyr out my Idis, all of a sudden my comp completely falls apart. Because look, this is literally the only tanky unit on my board, and this person is able to punch through that. It's just by the time they punch through it, Deja's killing everything because Revel 5 Deja is absolutely insane. Look at that, 10,000 damage done. So that, as I said, that is the weakness of my board. I just need to stall and get enough time so that Deja, Corki, Sona can kill everything with their fireworks, proccing off here in the back lines. Now that I've hit my entire board, I'm going to look to go to 9 and toss in Bard, and then Bard makes Mystic and also gives me more crowd control. And then that's pretty much my board. I can't really get much stronger than that unless we're able to 3-star Corki. We actually aren't that far off 3-star Corki, by the way. Headwinder has 3 Corkis. I have 3 Corkis. I believe he just sent me, or I believe he's going to send me his Corkis. Corki is not a particularly big focus for me. And yeah, there it is. He did send it over. So we're at 7 Corkis as well. If I wanted to, I could sit here at level 8 and try to roll for 3-star Corki, which I would do in a normal Corki game. But I'm just not playing through Corki as my featured unit, so I don't think that that's that valuable to do. If I had him fully itemized, I would consider that. But since I don't, I think it's better just to get to 9 and play Bard. And that will actually increase shop odds for Corki as well. By the way, look at how look at how the 3-star Swain just gets absolutely annihilated by Deja's fireworks. It's crazy. The whole the 3-star, the Revel 5 Deja is pretty insane here. Anyway, so we are on a pretty good win streak here. I've won every round since Deja's been there. I'm actually on an 8-match winning streak here. And so this one is kind of rapidly heading towards its final conclusion. We're on 79 HP. This other board's on 2 health. And we're actually still continuing to get quite a bit stronger. Like I said, Bard makes me a lot stronger. And Headwinder, has he hit the 3-star Diana? No. But he does have 6 Scale Scorn in, 6 Scale Scorn Olaf in. Does not have Assassin Olaf, notably. But hey, look who we put the Scale Scorn emblem on. Yeah, it's on a Yasuo. So that's 6 Scale Scorn Yasuo over there. Yeah, I mean that feels pretty good. That feels like it's a pretty good choice. I believe he also has Tiamat for his last augment, which causes anyone with the warrior trait to deal splash damage. So, as usual, Headwinder has built a very strong board, and he's built a pretty creative setup as well. So I've got the double dragons here with 5 Revel, and he's got 6 Scale Scorn with 3-star Olaf, and then I believe he just hit the 3-star Diana as well. Yep, there it is. 3-star Olaf, 3-star Diana, both with 6 Scale Scorn, plus Scale Scorn Yasuo with 4 warrior Tiamat, I believe he had. So I actually think his board beats mine, and I think my board is very good. So, yeah, I mean, this is a Jade comp, and Jade has a very poor matchup against Corki, so it's going to be an even worse matchup with the setup that I have here. Deja is just absolutely shredding this board. I mean, they actually are getting through my front lines, but Deja's on it, is able to win the round. before Shi-Ou can kill everything else. So it looks like we're up against their partner, who is the Shimmer Scale player. And although we're not able to knock them out of the lobby, we do knock them down to 1 HP. So I have just enough to get to level 9, so I'm going to go ahead and look to get to level 9 here. First we get the item drop in. So it's probably the last round of the game, barring something weird happening. So one of the things that I could take from the item round was a Zephyr. I don't remember what the other ones were, but I was like, you know what? Drop in Zephyr for the last round of the game seems pretty good. The one dangerous unit on the Shimmer Scale player's board is the Zoe with the Crown of Champions. By the way, there's two-star scale score and Warrior Yasuo. 6 scale score and 4 warrior Yasuo, 2-starred over there on Headwinder's board. The scary unit over here is the Zoe with the Crown of Champions. And it's really important I get this unit out of the fight because that Crown of Champions can just instantly delete the Idis, which is, again, the key to my whole team. And I need to avoid that happening, so I'm going to drop in Zephyr. I don't think this person was paying attention that I got a Zephyr, so whoop! Up goes the Zoe, and that means Idis is not going to die in 4 seconds when Zoe's ability gets stacked up. You see, she does one-shot the Idis when she actually comes back down from the Zephyr, but by that point in time, I've pretty much torn through their entire team, and yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap up this one. I win my round, Headwinder wins his round, and that's GG. So mostly wanted to share this, not because it was a super close game. I mean, it wasn't. We kind of tore through this very, very easily. But I thought we both had very creatively built boards, and I just wanted to demonstrate what this looked like since I'm kind of hurting for footage here while we're on this patch. I just have no real desire to play the one-player version of the game, not while ASOL is just so dominant. And the lobbies are turning into who can roll for Astral 9 and abuse the item toggling the most. So yeah, this was the game we played. I was happy with how this turned out. I've got the 2 dragons with Revel 5. And then if this ending screen ever loads here, remember this took forever to load after the game, you'll get a better look at the other team on my partner here with all the scale scoring units and warrior, and 4 warrior plus Tiamat. So anyway, just kind of stalling for time here until you can see the final stat screen. Like I said, not the closest game, but it was entertaining to play. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope you guys are having a great week and take care.